Hello everyone, this is Kyence again. This is about a 10-minute video just showing you the additional changes I've made in the translation. So this first part is going to show how you get Myau. So it pretty much follows the same storyline where you go in Paseo, you speak to the merchant, make sure you have the Laconian pot with you, and he'll trade you Myau for it. So as you can see, I fully translated it, and just as a little tidbit, I also included the small little cinema with it. What's kind of cute about the translation is that when he does say his name, she assumes that that's his name, that's just him going meow, and she goes, "Oh, I guess you really can't talk." And then he goes, "No, that's my name." He's also a lot more spunky in this. He really has probably the most personality out of all of them. So in translating it, I tried to kind of keep that spunkiness with him. You know, he kind of has like a short fuse. As you'll continue in here, and there'll be a couple of examples, is that he hates being referred to as just a cat, even though he's a musk cat. But just being referred to as a pet or as a cat, he gets annoyed with it. So what's nice in this game is that if you go to Odin's cave, where he's currently in stone, if you just want to search, if you just search around there real quick, they do have a hide for Myau, which is just like a basic defense thing. I've so far gotten up to, well, what's properly translated as Mahal Cave, where you can get Lutz or Noah, depending on which translation you prefer. He doesn't have any offensive weaponry, so at least he has some defense. So I'm just showing you what he starts with. He has the Alcalin as a regular item. So I'm just kind of giving you a quick look-see. And I do apologize for more of the compression in this. I was kind of playing with different software. Since the trial software I made with the first one expired and it's $300 to buy it, and unfortunately I don't have $300. So here we are. I kind of took a little segue into Caminite, and as you can see, Nick says, "Oh, you got a pet," and he goes, "I'm not a pet." So what's nice is that he has quite emotive images, so that's one thing that I definitely think brings more to the character, that I make sure to add them. So I'm also going to take a little trek to Sion, because that's where you first find out that he was found and sold to a merchant that was in Paseo. But first, I included this little battle just so you could see his basic fighting animation. What's nice about this version of Myau is that he has pretty much like an ice spell. I decided to call it Cryo because even though it's kind of more of the whole like Final Fantasy shtick of fire, ice, and blah blah blah, that want to make it sound a little different. So I figured Cryo is a little nicer. So this is the guy that originally sold him. So I kind of spice it up a little bit, even though this is kind of along the lines of when he goes, "Hey, this is the so-and-so that sold me." So, and then like Alice is like, just forgive him. People do dumb things sometimes. So I add a little more to that, just to make it a little more fun, because I think if anybody encountered their kidnapper again, that they would not be nice about it. So, he really hates being called a cat. And some of that really doesn't get conveyed well in the English versus Japanese because of the different speech and the different kanji that can be used. So I figure the pictures kind of help convey how much he doesn't like being called that in absence of that. So here is Odin in his cave. I cut to it for brevity. So this is where it kind of gets automated. And what's interesting here is you do have to you have to select the Alcalin to use. It's not like an automatic thing. And here is where, as you can see with the item list, that pretty much make sure you have an LR, an L1, and an R1 selected, because that's how you kind of toggle between the item lists of the people that are in your team. And as you can see there, that whenever there's a cinema type of situation, you cannot use the pictures that you can here. I tried doing it and it didn't show up. So that's kind of why that swapped to just stating the people's names. So, but as here, it's not really a cinema, so it works. It seems to work fine. So she does ask him in this, why did he decide to fight Medusa alone? And he kind of has a little bit of the derp stereotype of a tank character that, you know, Odin smash. So I tried to make him a little smarter, but he does kind of have a derpiness to him that is kind of cute and charming. For example, he does give you a reason why he hid the compass, and it was, you know, he didn't want it to be found in case he was defeated or turned to stone by Medusa, which is a nice, you know, forward type of thinking. But then after he joins and Alice asks him, you know, so, okay, you hid the compass in the cave, where is it? He'll go, I made myself forget to protect it better. So I gave her an image of, you know, she's a tad annoyed by that. It's like, so you protected it from yourself? And so that's, yeah. So it's kind of a funny moment in the game. So they did give little more character development and how, you know, when you hang out with a group of strangers that eventually become your friends, and it's tense circumstances that, you know, everybody has an opportunity to be a little silly and goofy, but it doesn't mean you have to like it. So that's what's really kind of nice, that even though this was a budget release, you know, that they managed to throw all that stuff in there. But as you can see here, in this, that there's what's a lot of fun in this particular animation is that they do have the different battle animations depending on what, I guess, class of weapon you use. So for here, I had Alice using a dirk, which allows you to attack the same enemy twice. What's nice about it is that it has a high agility, which is good for quicker enemies, but you know, it has an overall lower power. So, but if striking the enemy first is the essence of battle, it's worth losing the couple of points, especially if you want to make sure you at least attack first. So what I'm doing here is I'm just kind of showing you an overview. I bought a couple of things in advance. The frame is obviously a defense weapon, and he starts off with the iron axe, so that's the axe animation you saw. So right now I equipped what they refer to as the bastard sword, which is another thing you tend to see in Final Fantasy, but I believe the first place I saw was in the Lunar games. And so here I'm just going to get into a battle so you can see what that animation looks like. This one, I believe, had a lower agility versus the axe, but a higher power. And guns tend to have the earlier guns, such as the needle gun and the heat gun, they kind of attack the same enemy twice, but they kind of have the same, you know, agility bonus, but a slight hit in the attack points. What's great though is that it's not included in this, but once you get to the Mahal Cave, when you try to recruit Lutz or Noah, you know, there's a laser gun in there which I had changed to ray gun. And it attacks all the enemies on the screen. So that's kind of a nice... And it does a pretty good job, too. So as you can see, here's the sword animation. So it's really nice that they gave Odin so many different attack looks. And what's nice is even what he's going to equip now is the needle gun. And the ray gun, which attacks everything, actually has a different graphic for that. So it's not like he's shooting everybody with a machine gun and he's animated with a pistol, which I haven't played the Phantasy Star Generation 2 that thoroughly yet, but I have heard that was one of the complaints, that the gun animation really didn't change for anybody. So it was kind of nice that Odin got that extra bonus. So he might be a good sprite character for anybody that would ever intend on using it for games. So look, he can aim. It's so cool. So as you can see, we're 3 characters out of 4 done, and now you get a chance to see just how much of the weird adaptation I took to make the enemy character name kind of show up there. You can at least take it off in the system selection and just select that off. So I had also been doing a lot of thinking that the next time around I probably won't show you the Noah joining bit, but I'll probably get more into the whole collaboration issue that I was able to find that it's kind of a homage to the macro stuff from